Well, welcome back to our online devotionals. I'm so glad you've been joining us, whether this is your first time through or you've been walking with us through this whole series. Each day we've been looking at different characteristics of Jesus. And we're doing that not simply to learn about Jesus as a subject, but so that we can learn to experience life with Jesus more fully in every moment. And that's so important, especially in this season where we've experienced more social distancing, maybe more isolation than many of us have, maybe ever. The good news is that social distancing has never been a barrier to Jesus. He found people wherever they were. He reached out to the leper, to the outcast. He welcomed them. He brought hope and healing wherever they were, and that's true wherever you are right now. And so I encourage you just to take a moment and just be present where you are, and just take a deep breath and know that Jesus is with you. Now, today we're looking at the wily Jesus. And I love that word because it's not something we usually use to ascribe to God. We don't have a lot of worship songs we sing about how wily you are, O Lord. But Jesus had a way of being incredibly perceptive and clever and witty in how he approached situations in life. In fact, it was really tough to outwit Jesus, but a lot of people tried. There's a story in the Bible about a woman who is caught in adultery. And the religious leaders brought her before Jesus, not because they cared about her, but they wanted to trip up Jesus and cause him to lose standing, and so he wouldn't be a threat to them. And so they brought her before Jesus and told him that, of course, the law required that this woman be stoned to death for her sin. And they said, Jesus, what do you say you should do? And they thought they had Jesus trapped. They thought if he said, yes, you're right, the law says she should be stoned, and they did that, then Jesus would lose his reputation for compassion and for mercy, and all of the sinners that had put their hope in him would be distraught and have nowhere to go. But if Jesus said, no, let the woman go, then he'd be branded as a lawbreaker, and he would not be allowed to teach in the temple anymore, and that would also be devastating to Jesus' followers. So they thought there was no way out for Jesus, but they were wrong. Because this wily Jesus, he bent down and drew in the dust for a while. And nobody knew exactly what he drew. People have conjectured what he might have written there in the dust. We don't really know. What we do know is this. Jesus finally stood up and said, let the one who is without sin cast the first stone. And starting with the oldest in the group, one by one, they dropped their stones to the ground and they walked away. Because Jesus, he didn't fall into this either-or mentality, this trap that had been set for him. He revealed a deeper truth. The truth that we're all worthy of condemnation. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And through Jesus, we can all receive forgiveness. And so Jesus spoke those wonderful words that opened up a whole new world to the woman cowering there in shame and in fear. He said, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. And I hope you can hear those words of Jesus to you today. Neither do I condemn you. What this means is that Jesus is not going to be surprised by any situation you're in, any obstacle you face, no matter what you're facing, no matter how you might feel trapped in sin, in guilt, in addiction, in shame, in fear, in relational conflict, even when the way seems impossible, the wily Jesus will find a way to lead you through it to forgiveness and freedom. Have a great day.